Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's all right. Make sure that everything is here. The SDR is running. So we're going to check that out. Everything's okay here. Everything's okay here. And the stream seems to be okay. So hello, everybody. Nice to have you on board. Cool to be here on this Saturday, which who knows what's going to happen. We are under a severe thunderstorm watch. And there's even some regions around here that are in a tornado watch. So that is going to be an interesting time. My weather station is actually telling me that it detected some lightning strikes. So it means that thunderstorms are in the vicinity. So we'll see how it goes. Right now it's sunny outside, and it's very hot. It's very hot. About 90 Fahrenheit right now. 32 Celsius, 33 Celsius. It reached 33 at one point about an hour ago. So it is quite warm summer. The opposite of Matt, MDK2, that has snow. So kind of interesting. Yeah, tornadoes usually. In Montreal, we don't really have tornadoes much. It's mostly outside where in places like there's a few in Laurentians, but also South Shore, because it's mostly flat land. The danger is more over there. Here in Montreal, we could have very heavy thunderstorms, but I don't think we've ever seen a tornado on the island of Montreal itself much. So let's go. We're going to start now, and hope that you enjoy the show today. So, okay. I just have. What the hell is that? I just got a warning. My phone also a warning. So, what's this warning all about? Okay. Well, he just issued a warning about heavy, even on the TV. I see the screen in the living room. They just issued a weather warning with tornado watch and huge 5-cent size hail. So that's kind of interesting. I should keep a weather alerts radio on. It can be interesting during the show to have a weather alert sign on. I have a weather alert here. Quick weather alert that I could check. CB's there. Weather alert there. Huh. So, anyways, we just got the warning. Even on the TV, that's new. I've never had warnings on TV before. So, anyways, it's going to, if it ever gets bad, we're going to try to see how the windows are kind of shut a little bit, so I don't know if I can show you outside much. But if bad weather, we're going to try to show you guys what we can do. So like I said, right now it's sunny here, but it's very, very hot. So, hey, welcome everybody. This is the shortwave live stream, and of course, we are here to entertain. My name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, northeast part of North America. And we talk about radio of all sorts, and we just have fun with radio in general. There's a chat room that you can actually join and say hello. Great, helpful people that are there to have fun also, and really helpful people too. And there's after the live show is done, there's a There's a Facebook group. Official SWL channel is the Facebook group. More than 2,600 members now. Active group where a lot of people are posting all sorts of things and having a great time, showing us what they're listening to, the radios they're using, and so on. And lots of interactivity with helping out and people asking questions and all. So you can join the Facebook group once this live show is over. We are live twice a week. We are live at 0 hours UTC, technically UTC Thursday for the rest of the world. It is Wednesday afternoon in North America, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And we are live on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's 20 hours Universal Time. Hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll try to check out what's on the bands and what is, answer questions and just have fun with radio. So, Matt, MDK2 from a snowy Denver, Colorado. Roberto, nice to have you on board. And yeah, chin chin here. Vodka cranberry, as usual. Cheers, everybody. RJDA Dakota, nice to have you here from Wentzville, Missouri. Nice to have you on board. Matt, currently listening to my recording of today's KBS World Radio podcast broadcast at 13 UTC, and seems to be entirely K-pop. No news at the top of the hour. I believe they have on the weekend that K-pop show. Gary 24 fan, nice to have you here. David KJ4 CMY in Central Georgia, nice to have you on board. Hope you enjoy the show. Rob, nice to have you here from Phoenix, Arizona. We have Robert Cross, nice to have you on board. We have Artist Out of Croucher's Kitchen, nice to have you here from a hazy and hot Massachusetts. Had the Panasonic RF2200 out on the front porch today. As good as it sounds, might sound even better outdoors. It's always fun. I actually spent a couple of hours outdoor today. I was listening to, I took Panasonic RFB300. I took out the little FT65 2-meter, 70 centimeter transceiver, and I took out my ICOM ICR30, scanned a little bit of the VHF, UHF frequencies, and actually was kind of thinking that I might want to tune around some amateur radio satellites. And check that out and tune around. It's been a while since I did that. It's always a lot of fun. So I'm going to check out amateur satellites in the next few days. David in Barcelona, Spain. Nice to have you on board, my friend. Hope you are well. EA3IEK. That's EA4998URE. Nice to have you here. Richard Wagner, nice to have you here from Northeast Illinois. Nick Sharp from Southern England. I have my FLDG running, connected to the SDR RSP1A, but still not able to decode anything on 14074 FT8 traffic. I am sure the mode is USB, but what ob mode? I believe if FLDG does not decode FT8, to decode FT8, you have to use another software, which is WSJTX. So WSJTX is what you need to use to decode FT8. And your clock on your PC needs to be very precise to the second, because it uses the clock's reference part of the algorithm to decode. So WST, man, let me just, WSTJX, right? Let me just, WJS, okay, I got it now. WSJTX, sorry. I think I got it the first time. WSJTX, go and download that for FT8. And you'll see all the contacts appear. You can also download, what's the software, PSK Reporter or something like that. You can actually see it also on a map. She's kind of cool. Tarek, nice to have you here from Cairo, Egypt. Nice to have you on board. Jeff Williams, nice to have you on board from Southwest Cornwall. We have Metalunar, nice to have you here. We have Robert Cross picking up China Radio on 9525. Luigi, nice to have you here. Salut, depuis Bordeaux en France. Toujours un plaisir. Nice to have you on board. DJW883, nice to have you here from a 94, hot 94 in Southeast Pennsylvania. Patrick, nice to have you here from Washington. Carol, WS7WXV, nice to have you on board from Oregon. We have Philip Formby, nice to have you here. Serge, nice to have you here from Switzerland. Greetings. PLF Radio, bonjour et bienvenue depuis Lyon en France. J'espère que tu vas bien. Nice to have you here. Joe Tyson from Apex, North Carolina, KM4 WRQ. We have Alan. Nice to have you on board. Darren Rogers from Long Island, New York. J Projects. Nice to have you here. David Exter, ça va bien. J'espère que tu vas bien toi aussi. Leo Main. Nice to have you on board, Leo. John Beckham from Northeast Florida. Nice to have you here. And David says, I'm making it 5-9 into Barcelona. Booming as always. Barn Apart. Nice to have you on board from Finland. We have Bobby Burgess. Nice to have you on board. What else do we have? Alan never got to answer Bob's first three questions, and I'll answer them. Yeah, absolutely. Bob is the guy we had questions that we were asking you guys last Wednesday. Ken Lansing, nice to have you on board. Says, I must make a retraction. I mentioned earlier that DHL badly misdelivered a parcel, but now it appears that the whole matter was probably precipitated by a hacker pulling a prank. Okay, kind of interesting. David, this afternoon I scooped out a new location on nearby park for Parks on the Air activation. Hoping tomorrow I can get on the air from there. Cool. That'd be nice, actually, to do the Parks on the Air from Perry Island. I'd like to do that. I need to find a way to set up. For that. If you get hail, please see if we can catch it on camera for us. Yeah, we'll try. If the weather ever comes bad, I'll try to. I'll find a way to show you guys. Ken Lansing, nice to have you here. Greg, nice to have you on board. Watch on YouTube, Tom's Radio Room, and things that eat it up on shortwave. Matt says, the snow broke a lot of trees. Yeah, probably one of that like really heavy wet snow. That is definitely a problem for sure. Jim's radio check. Nice to have you on board. We will understand you have to take a dash for the basement. Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to happen, but we might, here. Over 20 years I've been here, I've seen quite a few very, very heavy thunderstorms. At times, it's. I always think of the big trees that I have next door. One day, one of those big branches or whatever, but they've been holding up. I mean, they're old. They're huge. Maple trees. I mean, they are huge. So I don't know what age they are, but they've been there for a long time. They've probably been there before this was built. This place was built in 1950. Rob says in the Facebook group, we share a lot of really cool photos. Yes, absolutely. Alan, first radio station he listened to was GNR, Great North Radio, Memories program at my grandparents and when I was 7 or 8. First QSL card from 1AN448 on a broken TriStar 777 Still have the card. Cool. Cool. And question 3 was the most unusual gift received from a radio friend was a shot glass with Iowa on it, which was unusual because my friend lived in Kansas City. Okay. Tubrook Tim, without programming, shortwave is lost. Blog or die, is that dark or light cranberry? Actually, it's dark cranberry, but I dilute it with some diet cola. So what I do, I put 1.5 ounces of vodka. I fill up with clear diet cola, and put maybe 3 ounces of cranberry juice in it. Tristan, nice to have you here from Newfoundland. Metalunar, do you ever tune around your CB with CB radio, or did you in the past? Yeah, well, I want to reset up. Now, I've got a problem because I only have one power supply, and I was thinking that maybe it'd be useful to have two power supplies for my 12 volts or 13.8 volt tap. So I've got a Pyramid 30 amp switching power supply for my Yaesu FT450. Problem is, the Yaesu FT450 is in the kitchen because that's the easiest way I can have access to ham radio with the infit antenna. But I got the discount in front, which works well with the CB antenna as a CB antenna for my CB radio. So now I'm stuck because here I don't have a power supply for the CB. And I've got my Uniden 980 SSB here that I want to actually put back in action. So my idea was maybe I should purchase a second power supply. Like that, I'll have 2 power supplies for 2 separate rooms. And I'll be able to power both, the ham radio gear and the CB radio if I want to. So I'm going to check that out because I look at my 980 SSB and I miss having it working. And of course, in the past, I did a lot of CB in the 80s with and I still have it here. It's one of the things I'll be showing up in my videos, the Navajo TRC 432 realistic bass CB from Radio Shack that I got as a gift when I was a teenager. I'm going to bring that out also, and I want to plug it into the discount and see how well it goes. So I'm looking at maybe I need one permanent power supply. So the switching power supply is ideal for moving around because it's very lightweight, and 30 amps is enough to power the Yaesu FT450 with 100 watts of output. But I would like to have one here that would be more of a linear power supply that weighs 3 tons, but it'll be in the office, so it's going to be like the power supply that stays here all the time, and I think it's going to be okay. So having one of those here and having the switching power supply I can take around the house or move around or go outside, because I want to even have one thing when it's beautiful outside. I want to set up my FT450 on a table in the back balcony and actually make contacts while sitting outside on the balcony. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But for that, I need to move around the power supply. So the switching power supply, even though it does give a little bit of noise, is ideal for me moving around with the Yaesu FT450. So the Uniden 980 SSB is eventually going to be back up here in Visible. Actually, I've got to stop being a little lazy, and I need to clean up everything because this is going to be cleaned up. I'm going to change stuff around. There's going to be radios in the back, so I want to do that. What else do we have? 000 KD2ANN, nice to have you on board from a steamy South Jersey. Joseph Nussel, nice to have you here from Virginia. Don't forget, my TKBC at 1 UTC tonight on 9925. Blog or die. And by the way, I'm going to do an announcement. I'm going to just all set it up. I'll make a video, but I'll announce it here. There's going to be a series of Texas shortwave radio transmissions via WRMI that will feature the official SWL channel, YouTube, and Facebook group. And there will be a special EQSL for those that want to report or send a reception report to Texas Radio Shortwave. This is going to happen in June, and I'm going to share anyways. We're going to share the schedule, and it's one of the things that is fun to do is listen to Texas Radio Shortwave. It's always entertaining and always fun. I like to tune around that. So that's coming up. So if you guys want to have a special QSL, I think that's going to be fun. I'm going to show you the QSL. Actually, I can show you guys right here. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to email. So I'm going to show you guys the EQSL, what it looks like. So you'll be able to so here is let me just find it. Here is Texas Radio Shortwave. Just going to show you guys what it looks like. Show. Trying to find it here. When I find it, I'm gonna show you guys. I need to find it here. This one. This one's the other one. Okay, I'm going to try to find it and always show you guys, but there is going to be a special QSL. I just lost where it is right now. But anyways, Texas Radio Shortwave will have a repeat. It will be repeated, I think, 3 or 4 times. And we're going to... So it's blocked. Thanks, Mad Radio DXer, for blocking. Thanks for blocking, guys. So this has been going bad on YouTube recently. Even in the comments, the spam is terrible. So anyways, I'm going to show you guys when I find it. But it's going to be, if you want to have a special QSL card for... from Texas Radio Shortwave that also has the official SWL channel. It's a nice QSL actually that has been done for that. VT Radio, Paul AA1SU. Nice to have you here from Northern Vermont. We have Dwayne. Nice to have you here from Northeast Tennessee. Matt, did you see the announcement for SDR Connect, a new name for SDR Uno? Sounds like a significant upgrade. Yeah, and at the Dayton Convention that's happening this weekend, they're actually showing a demonstration of multi-platform, Linux, Mac, and Windows. I think this is going to be a major step forward for SDR play, because let's face it, it's rather crappy using an SDR in Linux and in a Mac computer, which doesn't have at all the choice that we have in Windows in terms of all the software. So SDR, the SDR software, if it is available for Linux, Mac, and Windows, this is going to be a significant upgrade and a significant positive point. So that those that are on Linux or a Mac computer will have at least a more decent choice of software for running the SDR Play devices. Mad Radio DXer UK, nice to have you here. Skipwave DX, nice to have you on board from New York, the Catskills Mountain of New York. John Clay, nice to have you on board. We have David says JTDX also works for FT8. In fact, you find it a bit more sensitive than WSJTX, so try it out. I didn't try it JTDX. I'll try it out also. Matt says JTDX is nice in that it labels DXCC of every signal too. So that's cool. That's cool. So check it out, JTDX. We're going to check that out. What else do we have? What else do we have? Let me just go here. Signal. I don't get the window for signaling here. I won't be long, guys. Just going to check something here. Because I want to make sure that I report also all of the spam. It's going to be the best way to for them to have their accounts removed. Signal. Yeah. Signal. This is sexual content. And just make sure that we report everything. Okay, what else do we have? Kamikaze 1976. Nice to have you here. We have Glenn, KB9IN. Nice to have you here from Milwaukee. Al, nice to have you on board from Westport, Massachusetts. Chuck, nice to have you here. N5KVO from South Texas. Blogger Die says I was in Finland this first of the week. Cool. Levi Nathan, nice to have you here from Israel. 4Z1008 SWL, 4Z9MEX. Nice to have you here, my friend. Planted Aquariums, nice to have you here from Romania. Planted Aquariums. Let me just find my place. Got lost. Try to get back here as fast as possible. Just came from the park. Nice reception there. Thinking of moving my end-fed antenna further away from my building. It's hanging from the 9th floor to the 1st in an oblique way. So, yeah, it's making like a sloper, basically. Yeah, if you move it further away from the building, it might help you in lower noise. You know, that's the thing. When we go to a park, it is the first time. Often it's the time where we notice, oh, man, I have a lot of noise compared to here. David P. Miller, nice to have you here from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. David, this Berry Island National or Provincial Park, none of them. It's a park. It's a municipal park, actually. It's just a little stretch. It sounds fancy when I say Perry Island, but it's just a little stretch of land where cars are not admitted. That is a northwest part of Montreal. So you can only go there by walking or by walking or by bike, but you cannot go there by car. So I like that because it's kind of quieter and it's kind of a very unique little spot. It's not very big. Perry Island is actually very small, but it's a nice place I like to be, and it's quiet for the radios. So there's a few things that I'll need to do this year. Go back there. Go back to the Promenade Bellerive on the east side, where you could see the boats and the Port of Montreal for VHF, UHF stuff, and then go around. And of course, I need to do restart my walk in the park videos. That I'll try to do that this week. Take some time off for walk in the park videos. Tom D. Exer, nice to have you here. WP2QED from Hudson Valley, New York, 95 Fahrenheit. Pretty much hot all across the Northeast. Jay Watterson, nice to have you on board, my friend. Pretty cool to have you here. Frank, nice to have you here from the Netherlands. Nice weather here. Pirate stations active on 49 meters. Pretty cool. James Mooter, nice to have you here. WRQX585 from Oakville, Connecticut. 0-100 had a good hail producing thunderstorm here yesterday. Wow. As long as there's not too much damage. Ricardo, nice to have you on board from Portugal. VT Radio, I picked up a Hammerlong SB600. It's a 65-pound barn find. Very dirty, but it works except for the flywheel tuning. Two rollers are not turning each other properly. Wow. These are nice, but so heavy and so crazy. San Farrows, following along from Route 17, driving back from getting my son's stuff from college. Got a PL330 in the car, but it isn't that useful. What else do we have? David, do it. Berry Island as a Parks on the Air reference. I think it would be really neat that you activate the place. I mean, of course, it's possible to operate. But if you can make it, yeah, I need. The problem that I need there is to have. The problem that I need there is to have a. The problem that I need there is to have power to be able to operate, and that's going to be the tough one. Being able to operate from there, getting the power needed, and of course I need to operate with something. So it's like, what am I going to do? I can't. I don't have a car. I don't see myself going to Perry Island with an FT450 and a backpack and a huge battery. So we're going to see. Larry Gilmore, nice to have you on board. And Freelangy, nice to have you here, Hen. KO4DFJ, I3/KO4DIJ. Nice to have you on board from Italy. MDK2, I recently switched from beer to vodka with black cherry sparkling water, the latter being a brand called Waterloo. That's very nice. The vodka provides the only calories. Yeah, well, that's why I do what I drink it the way I drink it, because beer is very heavy in calories, and beer is very heavy in calories. And what happens is that the vodka and the sparkling water, which is pretty much probably 0 calories, makes it much less of a problem when you want to drink a little bit and not have too many calories. Just looking outside, I see that it's getting a little darker outside right now. 0-100 handbands are somewhat dead this afternoon. Yeah, remember that in Northern Hemisphere, as we're getting into summer, midday until mid-afternoon is not the best time for any type of DXing and contacts. It kind of gets better as the late afternoon and evening gets on. And you never know what happens. Maybe the sun could have unleashed some M flares or some solar flares. So PLF Razu, I like to see the deafness of the Orangda on VHF on your video, Joe. Yeah, well, did you see the video I posted? Just what I did is I just used my CC Radio 2E, and it ain't even a very good radio for VHF. The 2-meter band is okay, but it's not that sensitive, and it at least gets the repeater. And I showed that the Orangda doesn't get it at all. 0, not even a little peep. So it shows you how really bad sensitivity on VHF, UHF. I'm going to do more. I'll show a few more examples using an old scanner, because I don't want to compare it with something that's very good. I want to compare it with something that's just very average and very cheap, but that receives. What else do we have? Carol, W7WXV, about getting a battery and charger to connect the CB and auto radio in the office. I run my ham station on a AGM deep cycle lead acid battery. Yeah, I've had some lead acid batteries over time. The problem is I find them kind of heavy, cumbersome over time. It's neat because, I mean, if you run out of power, it is cool because you can still continue to operate and have your radios running. And I had that for a long time with the Kenwood RR5000. Lead acid battery would take over and take on the power. But anyways, we're going to see what's going to happen here and how I set up. Lemonade for David, perfect. Rob, just drink water, perfect. Rennie, nice to have you here from Turin, Italy. Nice to have you on board. Matt's having under the sink water filter, so just straight water works all day for me. Planet Aquarium, another observation about a reception in the park. I'm getting the buzzer, the hair horn, the goose, the alarm, but the shortwave plus friends with beer, our choice. What was that noise? What else do we have? 0-140 meters was kicking a few nights ago. Harold Anderson, nice to have you on board. Love the channel. Should buy a MAS 50 amp power supply. That's a very good power supply. The best from LB1NH. Nice to have you here from Oslo, Norway. CC, fantastic radio. I got close with a TRC 449 mobile. Alan, still have my old CBs and Uniden 200 and old Cobra 148 GTL. DX, sadly, CB, where I live, is dead. Not many on anymore. Yeah, for the most part, and I think for most of the regions that people live in, CB is much quieter than it ever was before, definitely. PR4470, nice to have you here from Dallas, Texas. Dr. Sisop, nice to have you here from the UK this week. Cool. Here, CB is not totally dead. There's some stuff that's interesting. There's a couple of guys that are very knowledgeable, very, very, very knowledgeable. I mean, when I listen to them, they're great. It's actually more fun to listen to them to any guys on the ham bands. And they are on channel 16 lower sideband most evenings. And I've actually, when I got my 980 SSB, I just got on to see if they could hear me and said hello to the guys that I was listening in. But I'm kind of they're very friendly little circle. So you're kind of a little shy to kind of jump in and try to talk to them a little. So it's like I listen to them, but I don't, sometimes I'm thinking, well, I should just pick up and say, hey, I'm here listening. And I find the conversation interesting. Maybe I'll join the circle. But, when they have that really friendly, close circle, it's like, you're not sure you want to get in and, you don't feel comfortable breaking in. Dr. Sissa, very hard to get WWV, WWVH, and RWM is jammed for sure. Aspirate's on it. Here in North America, we don't hear the jamming. I noticed, in Europe, you hear the jamming of all the Russian signals on a lot of the SDRs. But here in North America, we hear the signals. We don't hear the jammers. David, I use my IC 7100 with 3 DC power sources, the linear supply in my shack, a switching supply to be able to use it elsewhere in a QTH, in a Bueno BLF 1240A, better for outdoor operation. Okay, check that out. Yep, sad to see that it's so quiet for a CB. Art Dodd, nice to have you here from New Jersey, K2ADC. What else we have? Blogger Die, WWV on 15 megahertz was the strongest I've ever heard this morning around 0930. I was hearing Wednesday evening when we did the live show, I was hearing 20 megahertz WWV like at 03 UT or something. And before going to bed, it was like maybe 05 UTC. It was still coming in real strong on 20 megahertz. I was like, wow. Okay. Barn apart. What a shame. I'll not be able to catch it here. Dan V, nice to have you here. Have a great stream from Thunderstorm, Ohio, and 8WJZ. Yeah, we might be Thunderstorm here too. Hey, oh, that's what I just heard. The beep. I was wondering what the beep was. It's my weather station telling me that there's lightning strikes. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So if you guys heard the beep, it's my weather station. Lightning strike. So that is kind of cool. I love my new weather station. 31 Celsius outside right now. And we have winds up to 23 kilometers per hour. I feel like a weatherman. Dr. Sisop, 15 megahertz now. UK is dead. 14996 jammed as I hear squealing. Dave Conti from Bronx, New York. Nice to have you here. 86 Fahrenheit. Dr. Sisop brought his PL990X and the Grundig Ethan satellite. And long wave is in def here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Just gonna do a little something again. All right, guys, I'm taking the time to signal for sexual content. It's the only way that these spammers get their accounts removed. Okay, let's continue. Just check it out here. Okay. David, for portable power, look up the Life P04 batteries. I was able to have my unit shipped here to Spain, so it should be easier for you to get one. Okay, check that out. I am going to check that out. Yeah, be careful, guys, because what happens is if somebody blocks someone and somebody goes in quickly, then he clicks, it's going to be the unblock. It's not, it's just an honest mistake. It's just that you guys are so quick on the trigger. I am skipping from picking up Iceland. Cool. Khalid, nice to have you here from Riyadh. Gabriel, nice to have you here from Uruguay. David, 20 amp hours, a good capacity for 100 watt SSB operation. It should pair nicely with the FT450. So I'm going to check that out. Jim Gordon just received the Ethan Satellite Elite, a radio recommended by Joel. I am quite impressed. It's like a more sophisticated D808. Performance very similar. Was the D808 based on the Satellite Elite? You know, it's difficult to have any advice on that, because what happens is these radios today all share a very, very basic same design, basically. And what happens is that these designs, it's difficult to make a difference between each receiver, and is one receiver more, close or similar to another one, and it's kind of difficult to assess if one is made on the other. It's like they all share so close of a design today. I mean, there isn't that much that, and also one of the reasons there isn't that much performance difference between them. They all share a very similar type design. The only thing they don't share is the casing and the buttons. Placed differently, different color, different display. But overall, we're looking at different branded radios that are very close, if not almost the same circuitry inside. Um, Dr. Sysop 198 long wave. Yeah, over there you're going to get some stuff. Yeah, like Mad Radio the Extra says, YouTube is not doing its job. YouTube needs to do its job with spam. I spend a big chunk of the day removing spam, even on the comment section. What you see here, that shows up on the comment section all the time, and in varying ways, so that it's always, I take the time to report because I know that if everybody reports, spammers get their accounts blocked. But the problem is, part of it sometimes that I think is, well, I shouldn't have to spend so much time dealing with that crap. YouTube could do a better job at removing it before it ever happens. Andy New says the Mayadi Life P04 batteries on Amazon, a great value, 7.5 amp hour, under 30 pounds. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check this stuff. I'm going to see how I'm going to set up. Definitely one thing that I think it's what's nice about it is the fact that having at least one battery, and there's another lightning detected at a distance of 28 kilometers. I like that. Wow. So it beeps every time there's a lightning strike. So if you guys hear beeps, it's lightning strike. So definitely having some kind of battery for when power goes out would be a nice touch. Because I mean, I can power the basics. I can power my multi-coupler. I can power with a power bank. I can power my MLA30. I got the laptops that will run for a certain amount of time, but that is a limited, capability for sure. So, what else do we have? Dr. Sysop 4996 RWM with a jammer. Milesk99, I'm on YouTube live. Dr. Sysop cannot get Radio Havana Cuba here on 6000. Well, it's kind of early, but I'm pretty sure you're going to hear it when it gets on at 23 or 0 UT. You're going to get it. Because I've heard Cuba easily on most SDRs up in in Europe at night. WTWW 9940 comes in strong. Mickey Delnage, nice to have you here from Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada. Enjoyed some videos on YouTube from Hamvention. Saw Brent and Don from ZIDX. Yeah, well, I was looking at one of the live cameras yesterday. I left my big screen TV on the live stream of the RAC, the Radio Amateurs of Canada, and hoping to see people I know. What else do we have? BT Radios has got Kenyon 15 meters FT8. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. PLF radio, for me, the Ethon Satellite Elite shares the same lineage as the Digen D1103, Grundig Ethon G5, and Grundig Ethon G3. So, Greg, do I have a handheld ham transceiver? I've got a 2 meters, 70 centimeters handheld, a Yaesu FT65. So that's for VHF and UHF. And as for the rest, I've got the Yaesu FT450, which is in the kitchen right now because it's closer to the infin antenna. Johnny Sorrentino, nice to have you here from New York City. What else do we have? What else do we have? Let me just try to catch up where I was. Kelly, has anyone tried the Siemens Radio RK651? I bought it recently. I don't think I've ever experienced stronger reception and sound in the same category. Let me just check that radio. It doesn't ring a bell. So the Siemens RK651. RK651. Except it's an old radio. Oh, that looks like a DX440, like an old Radio Shack. RK651. That looks like a Radio Shack. Doesn't that look like a Radio Shack DX440? Something like that? It definitely is one of the Radio Shacks. Oh, yeah, that is. It is also based on the ATS A03A. So, yeah, DX440. It is the same radio. So the Siemens RK651 is the Radio Shack DX440, or also known as the Sanji and ATS 803. It was a decent radio back in the day. It was not a amazing radio, but it was a decent radio back in the day. In Africa, for some reason, I can never get contact from either SSB or FT8. Yeah, it's like when I do contacts, I notice one thing: I easily get to Europe. I easily get from the west part and a big chunk of North America, but my antenna seems to be very directional. I am unable to contact any Central South American stations or stations in the Caribbean. They don't hear me. Even if I hear them real loud, they don't hear me. So it's as if my sloper, the way it's positioned, is very directional somehow. What else do we have? Yep, none of the signals should be the lower signals. This 4840 is not on right now. 5085 is not on right now either. They're starting later. If I look here at the schedules, Google Chrome, EIBI, so we see that 5085, for example, starts at 22 hours Universal Time. There is one report of 11 to 22, though, but it says irregular. I don't know. Let me check it out if it's here, though. But that at this time, I doubt would make it to Europe. There's nothing on 5085 here at all. It's not on. It's going to start at 22 as usual. So it's going to start at 22 UT. 4840 isn't on also. 4840 starts at according to here, from 0 to 12, and then from 9 to 12 and 6 to 9. Something weird about this schedule here, 4840. It should have another schedule for WWCR, which I don't see for some reason. 9940, I do believe, is on. That one could make it to Europe, absolutely. And even here, I don't hear nothing on 90 and 9940 right now. So 9940. WTWW starts at 0 UTC. So it's not on before 0 UTC. It's from 0 to 15 to the Ukraine. So all of these frequencies are not on right now at all. Harold Anderson, here in Norway, there's a very quiet on 2 and 70 centimeter band. We have to use it more because otherwise we'll lose it, I suppose. Hope not, because we have very many good repeaters. It's like in the United States, the lack of activity on the 220 megahertz range made 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 them lose the band because there was just no activity and nobody's interested. And here we still have it in Canada. Here, 2 meters, 77 meters is somewhat active. I mean, there's almost always something, but definitely not like it was in the late 80s, early 90s. Definitely not the same. So, like I said, Greg, I got the a 2 meter, 70 centimeters Yaesu FD65 portable. Kevin, beautiful 85 and sunny in New Jersey. Worked on my tan and listening to the BBC. Actually, you talk about that. I took out the Panasonic RF B300, and when I passed the 13-meter band, I was surprised to have it with such a high price, such a high signal, 21,630. It was like, wow. Thank you, Joe Spring, for the tip. Matt, RWM 4996, loud and clear on the U20 SDR, no jamming. What else do we have? Yeah, Francis, you got to ignore it. It's spam bots. Fred Waterer, salut. Nice to have you on board, my friend. And here we go. Here we go. Let's just go down. I'm going to try to find my spot where I was. Catch up in the chat room. So just going to try something here, guys. Out of curiosity for a second. Let's go. So, it's the activity on the handbands is not what it was in the late 80s, early 90s, definitely. Sorry, guys, I'm just checking something. Okay. At what time did you get CHU, Dr. Sissa? Because at this time, it has to cross the full sunlight Atlantic Ocean. I have a hard time believing you're receiving 3330. It's night here, but 90% of the Atlantic Ocean is daytime. And it's daytime for a big chunk of the Atlantic Ocean, too. I don't think you're getting 3330, man. I'm with Matt on this. There are a few signals that it's impossible you're getting. Harold Anderson, here in Norway, it's quiet. Yeah, so I was there. Okay, here I found my space. What else do we have? What else do we have? Skipwave DX been seeing some things about slinky antennas. Been wondering about them and the possible benefit of they being coils. Yeah, the old ones, the one not today, the ones they are kind of more plasticky, but the old ones that made of metal, that are totally made of metal, are a lot of people have seem to have somewhat of some success using slinky antennas. Yeah, Brother Stair passed away, but he's still everywhere on the bands. And we have that new guy now, which is making it worse. Zigzag. Big data invention going to weekend. Yep. Lots of people. Lots of people there. Skip and 2EI. Nice to have you on board from a hot and humid New Jersey. Same here. It's 30 Celsius right now. So we've reached 90 Fahrenheit. And if you hear beeps, thunderstorms, it's getting very gray, weird colored outside. Kind of that very mysterious time when bad weather is about to arrive. Kind of looks like it right now. What else do we have? Yeah, they are. Archers out of Crafter's Kitchen. They technically are, because they are at an angle. They do have some directional capabilities. So that's why I think the way that it's positioned, northeast, southwest, maybe that's why I'm actually propagating better to Europe and to the west part of Canada and part of the US, and maybe not to the Caribbean. Errol Anderson loves the Texan 330. It is a tiny but very capable radio indeed. Indeed. Keegan DXer, nice to have you here. What else do we have? WTWW having their AM radio program. Yeah, they have that show. That's when I get it. Yeah, I'm not getting 9940, but it's probably skipping over me here. 9940 is probably skipping. Oh, lightning detected. Once again, 31 kilometers away. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like that. What else do we have? Richard Wagner, PL330 is the little radio that could. Yep, pretty much. If I miss out, EME, Earth, Moon, Earth. Corbett, DC. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. I mean, that is kind of cool, though. That is kind of cool when you think about it. Earth, Moon, Earth is just not just so cool. Robo Rouser, anyone has a suggestion for a high capacity BL5C replacement for the 330? Well, BL5Cs are at the most 1500 milliamp hour, not more. Another lightning strike. So that's pretty much what I would recommend, Rubble, is what I have here as a solution is get yourself, they're really cheap, get yourself a charger, an external charger, and 2 extra batteries. You just cycle through them when you use the radio. And with the batteries radio, you'll have 3 batteries. So you'll have a long time, even if you don't have the charger near you. That's going to beep. 28 kilometers away. I think it's getting a little more intense. I can't wait when the lightning strikes are every 4 seconds. That's going to be something with the beeps. Kind of cool. Look at that. It's intensifying, guys. And it's getting closer, 24 kilometers now. Joe Spring can get anything on long wave. Why is that? If in North America, long wave is non-directional beacons, pretty much. A little bit of experimental frequencies for ham radio, low powered. So what you'll hear with a single sideband receiver mostly, but even an AM radio for long wave. Maybe some airport beacons if you tune very slowly across the long wave bands. But that's pretty much what we have in North America. It's a pretty quiet band in general. And the long wave beacons are slowly going away. Gabriel says, hit the like button. CX32SWL. What else do we have? Dollar stores for metal slinkies. I haven't checked if they have some here. I should go and check if they do. I'll grab a few and maybe I think that could be an interesting video. A slinky antenna, maybe in the corner of my living room or something. What I find cool is that the weather station actually gives a distance, and it's interesting because it tells me if it gets close. What else do we have? Nope, NOAA weather stations are not in Europe. Are not. There's nothing there. There's no such service in Europe for some reason. Beep beep. Another lightning strike. You guys hear the beep? You probably do. What else do we have? Let's go down here. Keegan DXer rained in northwest Arkansas earlier this afternoon. Matt is 46 Fahrenheit, 7.7 Celsius in Denver. Wow. Incredible. Tom DXer, the Clouds takes a greenish color. I hide under the desk. I'll take the camera with me and we'll be sharing my under the desk experience. Carl Icon, nice to have you on board. Says weird digital signal on 3171. Oh yeah, Twister. That's a good, it didn't get high praises, but I kind of find it's very entertaining movie, Twister. Kamikaze 76. When I tune a local FM station on SDR console, it shows on the screen what is playing and what the station is. How does that work? It's RDS. It's actually feeding through a radio data system that is available on the RDS. If you've ever had a radio with RDS, some stations broadcast different things. So some stations will broadcast only IDs and type of station, but a lot of stations here in Montreal, they are pretty popular with that. A lot of stations broadcast the song titles, the artists, and all the info as the songs are playing. So what's happening? Your SDR software is tapping into the RDS. It is capable of doing that. SDR Uno does the same thing. It can also tap on the RDS of the FM signal and get all the info. Friends, this morning, did you see the launch of the Starliner and the Russian independence to access the space station? No, I didn't check this one, but with all that's happening in SpaceX, I think slowly things are getting back to the United States having their own rockets and sending their own stuff. I never understood why there was such a gap, and I never understood why the United States has pretty much dominated space for a long time just had to rely on somebody else. Something was wrong there. Definitely something was wrong. James Radio check. I try to find a metal slinky. Yeah, they're making out of plastic mostly now. I haven't seen a metal slinky in a long time. So that's why I'm gonna go check at the dollar store. But the last time I saw they were like different colors, like in plastic. Skip N2EI wrote an article on the slinky antennas a number of years back for QRP magazine. If I can locate it, I'll put it into the file section of the Facebook page. Oh, that'd be cool. It'd be fun to have that. Definitely. Let me go down slowly, trying to find where I was. Okay. King in the X or the beep reminds me of one of my digital watches from the 2000 that beeps at the top of the hour. RJDA Dakota, we've been hit by a tornado and the place that we had in Florissant Trillium came down into the bedroom. Youch. That's a scary time. That's a scary time. Alan, NOAA weather radios don't work in the UK, but I do wish we had something similar from our meteorological office. You know, it is definitely something nice to have. I'm glad that Canada followed with the United States on that. That we have our own Environment Canada Service in the UN. In the US, it's the NOAA Weather Service, but they share the same technologies. So they share the same frequencies on the VHF range. So we can actually use a US radio for NOAA and use it in Canada. It's going to work perfectly. And also the weather alert system is the same. So in Canada or in the US, both have the same thing, the same system for weather alert. You just is it here? Oh yeah, it is. That could be interesting. I got my Pro 92 scanner that has same weather alert. That could be interesting to turn on. So it's definitely nice, and I think Europe it would be nice in Europe that some kind of service like that exists. Definitely. I don't know what's around the 162.5 megahertz range in Europe, but they could even implement the same frequency range in the system. Radios are already available everywhere. Dr. Sisop, RDS is different here in the US. RDS, again, my aunt, old radio has RDS, but doesn't work in the UK for some reason. RGA Dakota, Twister is a good, cool movie, but the characters, yeah, it's kind of they gave them um, adults that have not grown up characters, which is kind of weird. But the movie itself is nice. Or JD Dakota, I haven't seen a metal slinky in near 2 decades. Yeah. Fred Waterer, true story. Oops, let me just find it because I lost it. My local drive-in had a screen blown down when Twister was playing. It happened in the afternoon. Drive-ins don't have a lot of daytime showings. It started an urban legend anyway. Kind of interesting. Says Fred says it's on Snopes. The drive-in is 4 kilometers from me. Wow. Yeah, probably hearing some other stuff. 5085 isn't there yet. 50 one station you should get there if you try 5995. You should be getting Mali in the UK. Now it's 6,000 right now. I've got some really, really strong interference. Skip Wave DX, several YouTube videos on slinky projects, some dipole and some verticals using a unbalanced and balanced transformer. Jim's radio check. I saw a video today where a guy clipped an alligator clip to his bicycle and used it for an antenna. It worked pretty good. Well, it's a metal frame. If you have an aluminum frame bicycle, for example, I mean, as long as it's tapped to the aluminum across the paint, why not? Could be interesting. Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah, I remember that. Went to see that. Went to see that with a friend back then. Oh man. Oh, I'm sure eBay has them. I hope they're priced decently though. Greg, you should discuss your antennas. Right now, what I'm using as antennas are an MLA30 loop, magnetic loop antenna in the front. So that is my main antenna for the SDRs and for most radios that I have here. Going through a multi-coupler that gives me 4 radios with the same antenna. And I've got in the backyard a W6 LVP loop that is not used much. I put it there because when I actually want to use a portable in the backyard or in the kitchen, I'm able to plug it in easily and get decent reception using the W6 LVP in the backyard and having less noise. And the other antenna right now that I have in the front is a discone, which is my main CB to VHF, UHF antenna in the front yard, in the front balcony. And finally, for my FT450 for doing ham contacts, I've got a, I don't remember the length exactly, but roughly somewhere, something like 50 feet sloper and fed sloper into a balun that matches for the transceiver. And that's pretty much what I have right now. Now, my antenna in the backyard, the sloper, end fed sloper, I want to change it. I want to position it a little higher, do a few things with it. I also purchased 100 feet of wire, which is here close. Somewhere here close, but I got 100 feet of wire that I purchased this week. So I'm going to try some other antenna projects for the Yaesu transceiver, try to get even more out of my 100 watts of power. Alan, the problem is that there are so many countries with individual meteorological office. Maybe the European Union might be able to set up something in the EU zone. Yeah, lots of countries to deal with there. That's definitely something different. Yeah, a lot of the more expensive bicycles now are carbon fiber. Absolutely. Cheaper ones are still made of aluminum. Depends on the price you paid for your bike. So it all depends. Okay. So what else do we have? What else do we have? Huge tragic tornado in Michigan recently. Wow. Trouble. I think the lightning storm's heading your way, starting to affect your internet connection. Anybody having problems? Because they're really far away from here. They're still the lightning strikes from my weather station. We're at 24 lightning strikes, and distance is 18 kilometers. So far away. Was here. Everything looks nice, and my all the little things are green, saying that my connection is good. So, Gary 24 fan buffered once for me 15 minutes ago, but I have crappy internet even on a good day, so it might be me. Yeah, Because usually when it really is bad, I see a lot of people complaining. So, so I've reached the bottom of the chat. We're going to check out what's happening here. Mario DX says it's all okay there. So it might be local to you, actually. So let's check. I want to check what's King and the Exer says running fine there too. So I don't think it's my problem what's happening. Just going to check Preom. In 7 minutes, you guys want to try something? F06A. F06A, which is a, let me just go check the info here. So F06A is a Russian, Moscow, Russia, digital FSK radio teletype style number station that's going to be on in just a few minutes. Sounds like this, if you can hear it. This is the sound. So that is going to be on in 6 minutes on 14486. So I'm going to actually put myself here on 14486 upper sideband. And we'll see if that comes in. I'll mention it. I see the lightning strikes on the SDR. I'm just going to show you guys. Look at the white lines. These are lightning strikes that you see go down here. So thunderstorms are definitely getting closer, as you see here. These are definitely lightning strikes right now. So it's pretty crazy, eh? Lots of lightning strikes. We're going to get probably more of it. So if you guys want to try that number station, which is a digital number station for F06 from Moscow, Russia, 14486 in 5 minutes. So at 2130 UTC, there will be a possible RTTY number stations if you guys want to try it. Let's check out pirates. Any pirates active right now? Any pirates right now? Nothing that I see as of now, but it's a little early for pirates though. So right now, nothing special. So going to be interesting to see what's going to be there. What else do we have? Yes, Alan, we're going to check it out because we do have more Bob questions, absolutely, as we were mentioning last week on the show. So the frequency 14486 upper sideband, and we're going to check out if we hear anything on that frequency. Apart from that, of course, we are checking out what's happening on the bands. With lots of static crashes. It is definitely looking bad outside right now. Just going to check out something here, because I think the weather is turning really bad. I'm going to go here. I just want to see the weather. just want to see the weather radar. So first of all, okay, weather alert. So we're into weather alert. And they are seeing heavy thunderstorms with hail the size of a nickel and torrential rains right now coming towards the region. So things are heating up in terms of weather, definitely. And I want to check the radar here. So what's the radar around Montreal? Things are very, very hectic right now. Oh yeah, look at that. I was going to show you guys. It's too amazing. So look at Montreal in the middle and look at all those really powerful thunderstorms around Montreal right now. Just to show you. This is what it looks like right now. Some really amazing thunderstorms. So seems like the bad weather is definitely here right now. So we're going to keep... Check how bad that is. From what I see, it's going to brush up just north of us, though. It's not necessarily going to hit Montreal much, but just north of Montreal, it's crazy. 45. There's 45 strikes. Distance is 12 kilometers now. So, wow. Weather is definitely taking a bad twist here. So, Sir Maximus Hardwood just got an MLA 30 picking up Radio Amazonas 11780 all the way in Detroit. Cool. So, anything appearing here at there's a tone. You guys hear the tone? Is that going to be the RTTY signal on 14486? Yes, it is. Tune a little lower. Tune 14485. That is definitely the... I'm at 14484.5 right now. That is definitely the number station. Look at that. Showing up here. So that's the number station in RTTY mode from Moscow, Russia. So this is a spy number station right now. So better at 14484.5, 14485. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Making it to Montreal all the way from Russia. So that's a number station. Yeah, Greg, I know I should have unhooked my antennas, but I'm keeping the main ones here. The MLA 30 is not too bad. Very long wire antenna on the 3DX390. Luigi, Atlas 10. Megan Dalmage, happy May 2-4 weekend to my Canadian friends. Had friends over last night, and there is nothing left of our 24. Yeah, it's a long weekend this weekend. You guys in the US have some holiday this weekend, or it's just here? Joe Spring, as Bob Dylan said, you don't need a weatherman to see which way the wind blows. Yep. Alan, single tone, 14486 S9 plus 10. Man Radio DXer hears it. Alan, now RTTY. Dr. Sisap is getting it. Keegan, RDXer, think I hear it. Weak. TFB, Taloha Fishing. Nice to have you here and from South Minnesota. Jim's radio check, I hear very weak on 14485. Thank you, Francis Moore, for the nice tip. Frank, S9 plus 20 over here. Alan, yep, plus 20 on the radio. Yeah, Paul is sleeping inside. I would have gone outside to see where he is if he wasn't here. Paul is inside, definitely. Oh, the U.S. holiday is next weekend. Okay. Okay. It's interesting. Why aren't we matching the holidays? We usually do. We usually do. What else? What else? What else? David, nice to have you here from Winnipeg, Canada. Michael Langer, Texan PL 380, Play 2, Jesus 727, Midland 892, Unit and SR30, RS 200 scanner, channel scanner. Joseph Nusa, we don't have anything on the same day as Victoria Day. VT radio hearing the 14485 USB. Not normal RTTY tones. No, it's more of an FSK type RTTY. It has a different shift keying. I don't even know if there's some software that could decode anything like that. Personally. Dr. Sisop. Next year, no more time change. Not sure about Canada. Well, I know that here they said that if the U.S. does it, they're going to follow. But the U.S. needs to do it in order for us to follow. So I would guess that if it does happen, it is going to be also here probably. Michael Langer, left Canada. Before I die, I shall see it. You have to. And I want to see more of it. I haven't seen enough of it. David B, VE4HQ is my father. Cool. Cool. So that RTTY is still going on. 14485, 484.5. Let's see if there's anything else coming up in the preamp. I don't know if it's going to happen, but in 4 minutes, you guys in Europe are going to hear it. That's for sure. Here, I don't know. 9243 CW M12, which is Morse code. If you don't have CW on your radio, upper or lower sideband, 9242 or 9244 lower sideband. So the frequency for the next station is 9243 CW, and it's in case of traffic, so it doesn't mean there's going to be anything. I'm going to go to 9243 and CW and see if we can hear anything here. CW upper sideband. My weather station is now at 51 lightning strikes, and 10 kilometer distance is now the closest. Looks weird, but it's not raining or anything outside. So M12 in 3 minutes at 2140 UT. 9243 CW is the nominal frequency. If we don't hear it here, maybe in Europe, you guys are going to hear it, though. Oh, but it's official now. It's they've already moved it to a law to Brooktim. It's they talk about it usually, but now they actually made a step further. It's supposed to be official now, and so the last time we're going to change our clocks is going to be next year. So we're going to see if we hear any Morse code in a couple of minutes. That also comes from Moscow, Russia. So we'll see if 9243 CW has anything in a couple of minutes from now. Because what's happening with the regulation, the law that they actually passed, it's official, pretty much official that we're doing this. The last time change will be moving ahead next spring, and then it's over. So it's going to be interesting. So thank you, Levy Nathan, for the tip. Much appreciated. Really nice to have some tips, and of course I am going to use them for radios and radio equipment for the channel so that you guys can enjoy more. Canada is supposed to go if the US goes, and so since the US is pretty much, they really have done a step forward now, technically Canada is going to follow. We have to, because because of our economies being so kind of going pretty much together. It's easier. So am I hearing anything? It's not there yet. 9243. We're going to see. There we go. An alert, guys. Look at that. There's an alert on my phone. That is for a weather alert right now. So the weather alert on my phone at 2139 UT. Violent thunderstorms. Take shelter. Possible tornadoes. So things are getting bad here. Yeah, hearing the Morse code, guys. 9243. I don't know if you guys can hear it through the 9243. So hearing the Morse code M12 Moscow, Russia number station and Morse code right now. David says here in Europe, ending DST is also on the table, but as far as I know, there's nothing firm in this regard. Francis Moore, worth every penny for all the help and entertainment you give. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Kamikaze 76. So U.S. Congress passed the daylight savings bill. Last I heard, the Senate passed it, but Congress put it on the back burner. We're gonna see. We'll see next year what happens. It's so stupid that we change the time. We should just let's go on and do it. Crazy. Frank, yes, CW signal. Alan, 9243 CW plus 20. Luigi, 9243 CW, S9 plus 30. John Beckham, I guess that it is a good bet that we won't be seeing any Hanrangda radio reviews on the shortwave radio channel anytime soon. Well, the review is there. I just say it's crappy, pretty much. So, but man, that's 747. But any other, if you're talking about any other Hanrangda radios, I think I'm going to invest in other branded radios. Joe Spring, my friend, on the Navajo reservation thing, we are just playing games with time. David, interested in old military radios, Royal Winnipeg Rifle Soldier. Yep, the words per minute. Usually what they do is they have some kind of intro of kind of probably just saying, hey, I'm here. And then they move into groups of letters or letters and numbers that they send at a faster speed. Yeah, I know they tried a long time ago for the daylight savings times, but they kind of reverted back because people didn't like it. Yeah, that's the story behind it. Farmers and stuff like that. That's kind of the story. No, it's been rather quiet, Matt, on that side. You've missed a couple of Russian number stations we've been receiving. One is still going on right now on 9243 CW. But we had an RTTY one on 14 megahertz. By the way, guys, stay alert for if you want to maybe have a station come back. Apparently, they're close to being to do some testing. WMLK would be they would be back on 9275 soon. So check 9275 from time to time. What I heard about daylight savings times was to conserve energy. It was a measure to try to conserve energy by having more daylight in our activities. So 9275 might be coming back. WMLK station. Yeah, I've been off for such a long time. Just curious here. Let's check out Preom. Anything else? In 14 minutes, we'll have the Cuban number station, 17480, 22 UTC, 17480. So if you guys want to check that out, 17480, the number station from Cuba. Hey, we live in UTC. Let's all put our clocks to UTC. We should all live UTC time. Like that, all of our shortwave listening, we always know what time it is. Thinking about it, it's kind of it's our invention of, it has to be daylight from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or something. I mean, why couldn't it be, for me, it's daylight from 14 UTC to, whatever. We would be used to having that time for our daylight and nighttime. And UTC would be totally, Like we would all know what time it is to listen to our favorite shortwave stations. That'd be great. We'd all get used to it. We'd all get used to it. What time is it dark where you live? Oh, 6 UTC. Oh, okay. So the Morse code station is still going on 9243. So kind of cool to see that. Kind of cool to see that. I have one thing that I hate is when I buy something and that clock cannot be 24 hours. I am used to always, since I was young, we learned in school here, not AM, PM. We learned a 24-hour clock system. So I'm used to that 24-hour clock. It's what I like. It's what I want. I hate it when you buy something, it doesn't let you go into a 24-hour clock. That is the thing I hate the most. So every time I buy something, if it doesn't have a 24-hour clock on it, I'm like, oh, God, please. No AM, PM crap. What else do we have? Yeah, once you retire, that's true. Who cares about time? It doesn't matter anymore. Only when you want to listen to their favorite programs. Pretty much. Hey, Brian Penny, nice to have you here from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Barry, I had a friend here in Kentucky that was an elderly who would stay on the same time all year around. He refused to do DST. He was a character. Sadly, he is no longer with us. And there's always that, oh, I'm 1 hour late because, I forgot to change the clock, stuff like that. Rick Saw Jack says, my noise environment is horrible. And unfortunately, a lot of us have to deal with some really bad interference where we live. Matt says, I think it's nuts that all of China is one time zone and Alaska probably should be split into at least two. Yeah, I guess they're not showing this anymore. Reading an analog clock. Still remember showing us how to read time with that. Oh, man. Matt says, I could tell time at each tree according to my parents, but that was largely because my dad built a grandfather clock when I was that age. I was fascinated with time. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, definitely some things change over time, of what we learn and what we the younger generation doesn't necessarily know anymore. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. Francis Moore still doing research on propagation in the sun and the effects of what's happening to your weather right now in our planet. You sparked my interest in this field, and it's now a hobby. This is cool. This is cool. We all have that. When I was the age to get my first library card so I could go and get books, two things became passion back then. It was already a passion by observation. I was fascinated with the sky, the planets, the universe, and so on. We had an old encyclopedia at home, which was they were the Encyclopedia Britannica, but the problem is, they're so expensive that when I was so 1979, I'm 10 years old. That encyclopedia is from like 1965. You know, they bought one, but it's still the old 1965 one. And I still remember, even though it was old, I would take it out and go search for planets and all sorts of things. And of course, they had the 1965 take on, what is Jupiter and Pluto and all the time. And basically, the these encyclopedias I would, of course, go through all the time. And then I got my library card, and I started getting much more recent, especially one book. There was one book about the planets that was like a year old. It was like very actual. So in 1979, I got a book from that talked about the planets in the universe, and it was like a year old. So it was very, very recent, and I learned a lot more because now it was more actual. But I remember going out, taking that book, bringing it back. One day, the lady at the counter says, you've taken this book out at least 10 times. I said, yeah, I know. I'm fascinated with this book. I would look at books for astronomy. I would look at books for the weather. Every book that talked about the weather, I took out. And every book about radio they had, I took out. A lot of them were old stuff. But man, um, I would read these things, and you get a passion out of it. It's like you start something, and it's like it gets so amazing, and you just want to learn more about it. If anything that I talked about, in your case, Francis, propagation and all of that, and the sun, if I sparked some new interest and some new passion for you, it's cool. I like that. That's why we have to open up and be as diverse in our subjects and our science. That's how you will find one little thing one day, and it's like, wow, this is so cool, and I want to learn more about it. And that's why we have to do that with kids. Even though a lot of kids today might find that shortwave radio isn't exactly what they want, at least if you show them that and show them other stuff at the same time, and electronics, open up their mind to learning and seeing that the world we live in is made of a lot of different things, and there's something in there that might be sparking that little gap that you're going to be a scientist one day or whatever. And I think it's even better because you want to keep your kids out of trouble. Why don't you show them as many things as possible that they can kind of get hooked on? And you know what? You're better off. It's costing you money to buy equipment because your kid wants to learn more about something than your kid going to jail because he hung out with the wrong people. It's part of all of it. David says here in Spain, we're currently on UTC +2 for the mainland, or UTC +1 for the Canary Islands. In winter, it's UTC and UTC +1. Lord Kitchener, I have a difficult time enjoying my DX hobbies I did in the late 90s. It depends on what makes it difficult. What makes it the most difficult for you? The noise, is it, because you got to find ways to, I could have abandoned this hobby a long time ago. I started doing these live shows, 2012, something like that, 2013, 2014 at the latest. But I started this channel in 2012, I believe, which means it's 10 years this year. When I started this channel, two things, of course, over the years happened. There's some stations that left, plus there's an increase in noise level. Put that together, and you're kind of in a moment where you're thinking, what do I do? What will I do? My hobby is dying because of noise. My hobby is not what it used to be. And how can I keep the spirits up? So 17480, the Cuban number station is there. 17480 with some of their newer digital weird things. So 17480 Cuban number station. And you gotta work sometimes to keep the spirits up. I certainly have to, because I do this. And if I do this, it means I can't do this if I can't believe in what I say and what I do. So I got to keep having fun with the radios, or else why am I doing this? And maybe I'm wasting my time and everybody's time. And you got to find your way. You got to find some new aspect of the hobby. One of the biggest problems that people have, so of course, let's put it in perspective of maybe problems. Number one problem for a lot of people, noise. So noise is the problem. What do you do with that? You could try antennas, like, we talk about the MLA30, which is an amazing antenna for that purpose. So we could talk about that. But in some cases, it might not even be sufficient. You might still be in an environment where it's kind of, uninteresting or useless. So what do you do to keep the spirits up? Well, you can abandon your hobby, but you can also take a portable radio out and go somewhere where it's less noisy and enjoy your hobby in a different way. Part of what I do is that enjoy my hobby in a different way. Putting together, what you want to keep the spirits of a shortwave. Put together two things that are fun together, meaning beautiful day, beautiful weather, time to go outside. Take the portable radio with you and make it a day of radio, enjoying outside weather, enjoying the beautiful weather, summer weather, so on. But at the same time, enjoying better radio, because now you're hearing stuff that you're not hearing at home. Sometimes we got to make an effort to keep up our spirits in the hobby. I do it all the time. I have to because I'm here and I have to make videos. I'm going to show you guys stuff. And it's like, well, sometimes you got to do it how you can do it. And that's it. It's easy to get in the negative side of radio. And I think it's maybe for a lot of us that way. It's easier to go negative about something than to try to make an effort. So, that's interesting. Content is not less to Broketon. You are saying that because you don't hear enough and you probably have too much noise. Because content, there's a lot of it there, a lot more. And there's different, diverse ways to get it. There's also all sorts of other things to keep up the interesting stuff. Trying digital modes, trying all sorts of different things. There's a lot more content. If somebody tells me there's no content on shortwave, well, I don't know what you're listening to, or you don't hear much, because there's a lot of content on shortwave still today. It's not 1985, but it's a lot. I listen to a lot of stuff throughout a cycle of a day. But like I said, sometimes to get access to it, with the noise you have, you might need to make an effort and do it differently. But if you have a lot of noise, I get an example. I get emails at least once a week. All I hear is the religious stations. Yeah. Because if you have a lot of noise, that's pretty much the only thing that you will hear in many cases. But get out of that noise bubble, and you know what? In a day, I will have listened to, and I have an advantage being bilingual. Of course, there are things I can listen to more. Um, so in a day, I'll Radio Romania and Voice of Turkey and Voice of America and the BBC World Service and Radio France International and Radio Prague and Radio Slovakia and RAE Argentina and all of that. There's content. There's stations. There's all of those programs that are also on the air via the relays that are not international broadcasts, but it's content from either music, or like Blues Radio International, or it could be some content from some provider and that relays that rents airtime. Content is less than the 1985 aspect of content of shortwave, but it's not a problem with shortwave, not at all today. There's a lot of it. Once again, it's making an effort sometimes, and that you have to work on it. So I might want to listen to radio, say for example the BBC. I'll hear easily the BBC at the park. More difficult to tune it here, except at certain specific times. So okay, I want to have BBC content. Yeah, I'm gonna go, do a walk in the park. I make a few videos, and I'll be listening to the BBC very clearly, listening to their programs, whatever, on like 11, 8, 10 or stuff like that. It's really a question of making an effort. That is the big thing. The human body and the human mind is kind of counterproductive in here. We don't really necessarily always want to make an effort for something, but making an effort is rewarding and brings you to hear a lot of stuff. And I make that effort, and I make more than that effort. I make the effort of being here and trying to entertain you guys and trying to bring you guys to listen to stuff that is available. For example, right now, you want content, the East Coast at least, radio, the Voice of Turkey is on 9830 in English. And it has that annoying radio teletype tonight. But the signal of radio, the Voice of Turkey isn't too bad. It's 9 plus 30, 40. I put myself, I wonder if a sideband will work here. Lower. Yeah, lower sideband. Upper sideband. Lower sideband brings it if you have a separate upper lower. Unfortunately, that RTTY sometimes is quite annoying. So there's Voice of Turkey right now, 9830 on the 31 meter band. So there's some stuff, and you just got to make sure that you check it out and diversify your listening. Don't make it just one specific thing, because if you do that, you'll get into a rut real fast, and you'll be like, well, okay, I think I got enough of this hobby. What else do we have? Matt, my older daughter simply will not be awoken by her phone alarm, so we have an old-fashioned alarm clock, the kind with 2 bells and a hammer that rapidly strikes both on the top. That's analog, of course, and she always has seen analog clocks growing up. Oh, cool. David, I don't care much about time zones anymore. I used to drive a truck. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Take care, man. Radio DXer. Hope you stay safe. What else do we have? Lord Kitchener, and you were correct on the cost of buying a decent ICF 2010 when the same price can buy a new Texan. Absolutely. You got to be careful there. Fairly Major, nice to have you on board. Bill, MI0TLG, Northern Ireland. Joe Spring, SDR is good for getting kids into radio. They see the waterfall and it's off to the races. Well, if it definitely is another way of bringing radio. If they're passionate about a little bit about computers and all, it's like, well, look, that's another way of listening. You know, Nate getting to 17480 in Southern Ontario. Rickshaw Jack says all 4 kids ended up being scientists. Very proud of that. Cool. What else do we have? Carl Icon, Radio Estadio de España, strong into New York on 17855. Ryan Penny picked up 2 free clock radios at the dump today. One is an LED, the other one is a classic blue LCD. I'll restore them. Weird hobby, I know, but it's fun. Hey, the radios. Yeah, absolutely. I got to take it out here. I got my good old Panasonic clock radio with blue LCD and AM FM radio on it. Gonna try to tune the medium wave bands with that and see what it gets. A lot of them had pretty good receivers back in the day. TFB at Taloa Fishing. What BBC frequencies can you pick up in North America? 11810 on the East Coast at least. 11810 and 12095 are rather decent in the late afternoons. Around 20 UT, 21 UT. In the morning, they have one on 15735, something like that, 15730 ish. And late at night, if you're not a guy that goes to bed early, depending where you are, here on the East Coast, BBC at 05 UT, 04. Let me just remember the time. I'm going to go to the time here. 10183, guys. If you want to hear some, by the way, a number station, Morse code 10183 in CW is Moscow number station and Morse code 10183 CW. So one that is really good, 6195 starting at 05. One that is actually quite good also across a lot of North America lately, 03, 04 UTC 9915. 9915 around 03, 04 UTC from Madagascar, really, that one, I believe. Yep, it's there. (10-183) CW, Morse code, M12 Moscow Russia time signal. If you don't have upper lower sideband, if you don't have upper lower sideband, you can just tune the BFO off. If you have upper lower sideband but no CW, you can tune upper sideband 10182 or lower sideband 10184. So 10183. We can hear the Morse code of the M12 number station out of spy number station out of Moscow, Russia. What else do we have? Kenneth, our species has discovered a way to communicate through the dark to transcend immense distances. No means of communication is faster and cheaper and reaches out further. It's called radio. Exactly. And Michael says, MLE30 saved my hobby. Cool. Glenn Zeckman, nice to have you here. Michael Langer, 17480 in Illinois. Artist Electrafter's Kitchen. Prices on the radios like the 2010 have gone through the roof. So glad I got mine before that happened. No way I would pay those prices today. Keegan the Exeter, my dad, W9JEF, had a Panasonic AM/FM clock radio with blue-green LED display, maybe from the 1980s. Yeah, mine I purchased in 1987, 6, for waking up to go to school and then to go to work. Roncio, nice to have you on board. Frank, yes, I hear CW on 100183. What else do we have? Alan, 5.9 on the VR 5000. What else do we have? So we are getting that number station here. So it's still there. It's already gone. Not hearing anything anymore. Or it's there. Very weak. I think it's gone. Maybe it didn't have much of a message to send out, basically. Take care, Francis. See you later. Stay safe, my friend. Yeah, probably didn't have any messages. When they don't have any messages, they usually do like 3 long beeps a few times saying, nope, there's no messages here. So it could happen, definitely. So let me check it out here and here. So the weather is kind of calmed down now. Even my weather station has relaxed with the strikes. It ended at 454 lightning strikes at 10 kilometers. So the bad weather kind of went away. Didn't really brush here. It was more like up north. Bobby Burgess, you got a power outage? So anything else? There's 9083 in 16 minutes we can try. 9083. So we're going to keep that one at 2230 UTC. 9083 is another number station out of Moscow, Russia, in Morse code. Let's check the RWM time signal. Let's check that out. 14996, first of all. So let me go here. Just here we go. 14996. Yep. Not very strong, but it's there. 14996 RWM time signal from Moscow, Russia. 14996. As Alan says, transmission was there, but it was not very long, so they didn't have much to say. Let's try 9996. And that's one a little better. So 9996, 14996, and 9996 coming in here. No problem, Michael. So 14996 and 9996 are the two frequencies I'm getting the RWM Moscow time signal here. Let's check out for pirates. Any pirates has popped up recently? Still no pirates. A little early once again. As, we are in. Don't forget, guys, as I was saying, WMLK from might be coming back on 9275. So I think it's from Pennsylvania. WMLK hasn't been on for a long time, but apparently they are ready to be testing soon. So if you hear something on 9275, it might be WMLK from the US. Alan says 9996, 7 on his side. So pretty cool. Pretty cool to check that out. I'll try for 996, but it's a little early here for that. No, 4996 is a little too early here. As for the time signal stations, let's try 25 megahertz WWV. Nothing there. 20 megahertz, nothing there. 15 there, but not very strong. About S9. 10. 10 is there, about S9 also. S9 plus 10. Wow, so static crashes on the lower frequencies. It's crazy. You see that there's a lot of thunderstorms around. 670. Lots of thunderstorms around on the bands. Call icon between AM, FM, shortwave, CB, air, VHF, UHF. There's always content on the radio. Yep. Michael Andrew lives late night tuning. I like that. Like Saturday night, I often do this. I will listen to the radio quite late, like up to local, maybe up to 2 a.m. sometimes, which is 06 UT. Lots of really nice stations coming in, especially when I listen in, and love to listen to the NHK World Radio. Which I like. Japan. BBC usually has a good signal. There's quite a few little things. There's AWR. There's all sorts of things to tune around, and Radio France coming in quite well. I kind of like that. Frank, I hear 9996 and 14996. Cool. RJDA Dakota, I've never had luck with either 9996 or 14996. I'm surprised. You should, especially now, you should be hearing something there in CW mode. WFJ 59 looking to restore is 1939 GEH 77 floor radio and not sure where to start. Yeah, that's a tough one. Are you looking for somebody to restore it for you, or maybe kind of trying to restore it yourself? The first place I would start would be YouTube videos of similar radios. There's a lot of interesting stuff that might help you kind of get a drift of what to do. And so that could be something. One guy that has a lot of old radios, tube radios and radios of old days that he restores, Mr. Carlson's lab, has a lot of work on very old radios like that, including floor radios. If you're looking to have it restored by somebody, that's more of a tricky question, because you need to have somebody with the knowledge, and that will be good enough to, how would we put that? Good enough to maybe be a little creative, because one of the biggest problems of radios of that age is sometimes there isn't an original part available, and you might need to, you know, find a way to do it differently. So it depends on how you want to do it. Do you want to fix it yourself or have somebody fix it for you? If somebody fix it for you, then it's finding somebody that will be doing it. And that is a dying breed. So it depends on what you have around and how. I don't know where you live. Here in Montreal, I would have probably could find somebody eventually doing it, but it's not easy. Michael Langer, DX440 number 4 is on the workbench. Hope it teaches me some skills. Zen Pharaohs has SVO 8424, which is the Greek Marine Station. Greek Marine Station. So that is, let's try it out here. 8424. 8424. CW mode. Check it out here. Yeah, hearing it. SVO. Eight 424 CW SVO in Greece. For those asking also about Voice of Greece, because I've got a few people asking, it is on the air right now, but it's at a reduced schedule, which is not favorable to North America. It ends its transmissions at 17 UTC. As for what's going to happen after, because that's where we are taking a look at Voice of Greece, is what's going to happen after May the 31st. So the Voice of Greece had an extension, but that extension is ending on May 31st. Are they going to be still on the air or not? That's going to be the question. If after May 31st they're gone, unfortunately, Greece has disappeared from shortwave. So we'll see what happens there. Let's check out the chat room a little more. So, TVDXer, forgot to tell you that I did watch John Carpenter's The Fog. It was good with the radio tie into the story. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I like it. And there's a lot of cool looking radios in that movie. At many places, there's the father of the church that has his little portable transistor. When the guy sleeps with the girl relatively at the beginning of the movie, they have a really nice, what looks like a tube, an All-American 5 tube radio with clock. There's another spot in the movie I'm trying to remember where there's also a cool-looking radio in it at some place. If you've missed the radios, look at it, watch it again, and be very attentive. There's a lot of cool-looking radios in the movie, too. What else do we have? Yeah, hunting transformers. A lot of guys actually make their own transformers because just hunting the transformers is impossible in those old things. Zen Pharaoh's got Gander, Newfoundland, Canada. Let's try the frequencies before that number station. So we have from Gander, one is 13270 upper sideband, 13270. See if we hear anything there. Nothing on 13270 here. 10051. That one is okay. That's good. Pretty good one there. That's 9 plus 20. 6604. Very weak on 6604. The best frequency is really 10051. That's really the best frequency right now. So, yeah, Frank 4996 is the other frequency for the RWM time signal. I'll hear that one a little later, probably. Rickshaw Jack, I don't think that many are going to get off. We've gone into kind of a plateau. Most stations that are now there are, for the most part, pretty much staying. One thing for sure is that a lot of stations that are on the air are focusing their attention to another area of the world, though. So the biggest problem we'll have, I don't think, is of having anything on shortwave in 10 years from now. We're moving into a different era also. Look at all the various and the different shows that are on WRMI, for example. There's going to be a shift towards a lot of, here in North America, what we'll listen to is a lot of private broadcasting programming more than, state shortwave stations from the past from different countries. And of course, there will be some of those that might be through WRMI. But in 10 or 20 or 30 years from now, there's going to be tons of stations on shortwave, but focusing on where the programming needs to be done. So it could be Africa, it could be Asia. There's, in these parts, there's just a lot of stuff. Listen to any SDR in Asia. It's like there's stations every 5 kilohertz, like in the good old days. Of course, lots of China there, but there's stuff. I think what is mostly going to disappear is maybe like, Voice of Greece. There's no, they were there for the, Greek community. So what happens is that at some point they're trying to see if that's worth it. Their mission is mostly to reach Greek people abroad, and in their mind it's more like, well, we can reach that audience through shortwave, which is not the same type of coverage that, say, Voice of America wants to do, or BBC. They're focusing on people from different communities and different areas of the world where internet is not very good, doesn't work well, or they just don't have internet access. So shortwave is very important. It needs to stay. So it depends on the focus of your broadcaster. The focus of your broadcaster decides what stays, pretty much. Because at some point you're like, yeah, do I need to do this? But in the years ahead, there's still going to be shortwave. It's just that it's going to be very focused. What's happening also in North America, we're not anymore a target zone for a lot of countries, a lot of broadcasters. We're not, North America is being the place where a lot of people are, a lot of broadcasters are like, well, North America, they don't need that. And they're focusing to somewhere else. And that's why a lot of what we listen to isn't that strong. So, when somebody tells me, oh, the BBC's gone from shortwave, no, it's not. It's broadcasting to other countries and other continents. It doesn't have a main broadcast to North America. That's why you don't hear it as well. But if you have a quiet location, it's still easy to get the BBC on shortwave. It's just that, once again, the Famous noise is the problem. What else do we have? Others Outcrafter's Kitchen, Panasonic RF2200, seen in several episodes of The Walking Dead. Cool. John Beckham I'm trying to love my Prentice J401 more, but it's hard to when the radio itself generates excessive noise. Yeah, that's why choosing the correct radio is very important to enjoy the hobby. If you don't, you are not going to have fun. So that's why I always will tell people the specific model when they ask what radio I should buy, because I know that from the start you're already going to have something that's good. So, if anybody that asks for an SDR, look, it's a no-brainer. The SDR Play RSP1A is the entry-level SDR to get if you want to get into that. Forget about anything else. That is what you need. It's a little more expensive than others, but it's definitely more interesting to use. So, that is the things that you have to think about. I'm just going to do something here. Signal this to sexual content. Signal. Here we go. So let's check it out. Yeah, there's a lot of, it's an international broadcast situation. So, of course, you'll have a lot of broadcasts in different languages. One of the things that I sometimes forget in a day is that being bilingual opens up a lot more broadcasts. So I'll be able to listen to stuff. There's nothing of interest to me in English at a certain time. There might be something in French of interest. And of course, the more languages you understand, the more um, you will have um, of choice on shortwave. Definitely, if you speak Spanish, if you speak French, and you speak English, you got a lot of stuff suddenly on shortwave. It's also that. Matt 7334314, the NMC Point Reyes, good signal in Denver. Patrick, I've been listening to Radio Havana, Cuba every night, 6165, good signal. Gay24 fan, do you have more past and present videos coming? I love your content, but this has been my favorite series so far. Yep, definitely. Give me time. They're longer. These are much longer to create because I've got to search for content. I got to search for information on the stations that I could find and aggregate all of that in order to be able to use my QSL cards, have audio clips, and have some decent information about it. So, But yes, definitely a lot coming. Chastank, nice to have you on board from Louisville, Kentucky. Michael Andrew, the Fox scared the hell out of me. Have to rewatch. Two Broke Tim, radio does blame. Yeah, but you got to stop focusing on that. And that, Two Broke Tim is the main problem of a lot of the shortwave listeners I see. They focus on a station and they're like, well, I can't radio Havana, Cuba because of their anti-US whatever. Yeah, listen to something else from Radio Havana, Cuba. It's not just that. They have excellent Cuban music. Their music show is great. They have other stuff. But if you focus just on one thing like that, you know, you got to stop focusing on any countries talking about your own country in a negative way. It doesn't mean you can't listen. There are other stuff to listen to. That's all. But we have to stop focusing on stuff like that. It's like when somebody says, I'm tired, the brothers stare everywhere. It doesn't bother me. I listen to something else. Stop focusing on what you don't like. It's a nonsense to always focus on the negative. It's like, who cares? I don't care if it's on 100 frequencies. There's 100 other frequencies with other stuff on it. So you know what? I'll just pass over it, and that's it. Um, that's all. We got to stop being in the negative side. And always, we have to find the nice side of programming and stuff we like and we want, and that's how we enjoy our hobby. Honestly, so that's it's something we got to do. What else do we have? Pre-chill. Jim's radio check. Go to radio is the Greenwich Executive Satellite. Michelangelo loves WRMI. Patrick, I see a lot of good music programs and weather programs with their mailbag. Exactly. You focus on what you want to listen to. Who cares about the rest of the content? I would not stop listening to Radio Gaga that would broadcast anti-Canada programming if there's other stuff in there. I will not focus on I hate Canada. I will focus on they've got great music, they've got a mailbag show, they've got this or they got that. That's interesting. The culture side of it is interesting. Radio Havana's Cuba's music has excellent Cuban music. Just focus on the good side and forget about what you don't like about the program. That's all, and it's the way it is. And that's all. It can get old to say stuff like that, but it can also be understandable with the way that, some countries are treated sometimes. We just got to be careful because they're allowed to say what they want, just like the U.S. and like any country says what it wants on the shortwave bands. Voice of Korea, an example. Voice of Korea from North Korea doesn't have much in terms of interest for me in the programming of what it is, which is focused on their leader. But it's a good DX target, and you listen to that music they play, and it's like, yeah, it's on. I'm hearing North Korea. It's cool. It doesn't always have to be with the program. Also, sometimes it's just the DX side of it. Matt, I miss DXers Unlimited, though. I think a lot of shows the last couple of years, a lot of the shows were reruns. Yeah, probably. DXers Unlimited was interesting because Arnie Coro had its very specific take on it. The way he did DXers Unlimited was kind of, very almost a little bit amateurish, but kind of fun to listen to, like, well, he talks about radio. Let's listen to what he has to say. The 24 fan, I actually used to love listening to Radio Moscow back in the day. Maybe the anti-American sentiment was there, but too, but I wanted to hear their opinions, and I didn't become a flaming communist. Exactly. It's not because you're listening to that you change you're going to become a communist or anything. And I still find that there's way too much focus today. I hear a lot of, communism is back. It's like, we're not in 1960. Wake up. Stop thinking about those old ideas from the old days. So what else do we have here? We just go down. TFP Tello Fishing is the PL330 more than the Grandig Exec Sat, just faster scan. Patrick found Voice of Korea this morning, but wasn't able to listen to it for very long. As Matt says, besides that, it's important to get another country's perspective. What they say isn't without truth. Absolutely. It's not because they're talking bad about you that it's necessarily, all bad, meaning there could be some stuff in there that you should listen to. It's somebody else's opinion on you. Like somebody else will tell me, if you tell me something negative about me, it's your opinion, and it might me reflect on, oh, okay, people think that. Why is it? Sometimes it helps in changing stuff and changing the world. And they're on shortwave. They're allowed to say what they want. That's all. If you don't like it, once again, I always say everybody, there's that button you can change channel. Just do what you want. Go on another frequency. Zen Pharaohs, two of the interesting music stations for me are not quite local medium wave radio. Zendagi 540 kilohertz from Islip, New York, and WPAT 930 from Paterson, New Jersey. Not great DX catchers, but need right antenna. Matt says, Arnie, Arnie's show reminded me a lot of the science programs for kids. He could have probably been a phenomenon on PBS if he was in the US doing a show like that. Yeah. It definitely has some, it looks like your friendly neighbor trying to talk to you about radio, over the radio. Still remember that when he had that rant and the back and forth between Glenn Hauser and Arnie Coro. John Beckham, what shortwave broadcaster station that broadcasts on 15170 around 11 to 12 p.m. Eastern time? Late at night on 15170? So 11 p.m. Eastern would be 03 UTC. 15170 at that time. 03 to 06 is the Saudi Arabia. Oh yeah, I heard it the other night. I came across it while tuning the 19-meter band. It's Saudi Arabia. It's Saudi Arabia. It actually gave me a feel. It's Saudi Arabia, and it gave me that feel of the good old days when back in my teenage years in the summer, with the high solar activity, I would listen to the English broadcasts of the United Arab Emirates on 15435 or something. And they were always coming in well with their programs towards North America on 19-meter band at something like that, 03 UTC. It was my summer listening. Nick Sharp, the Extras Unlimited was great for Arnie's radio knowledge. Yep. Pretty cool. Michael Landriger, I got a Brookstone AM/FM radio. It's a steel thing. HCJB. David, I always thought that apart from astronauts, we radio enthusiasts are the other collective who can clearly experience the overview effect. Indeed, once you discover we all can share our hobby and our different approaches to it, no matter where we might be from, well, then borders don't matter as much in this regard. Thank you, Frank, for your tip. It's much appreciated, and it's not going to buy a hand-wronged radio, I promise. Thank you so much. Man. Matt, getting ready to roast a beer can chicken on the grill. I haven't done that in such a long time. It's so good. So juicy. Need to do that. So I'll take some. Nick Sharp, Arnie was so helpful giving advice on his amateur radio kits and antennas. Yep. Then Pharaohs, if you really want a different perspective, you can't beat the daily program on WFED Washington 1500. It's a radio for federal bureaucrats, not government propaganda, just all government. Oh, God. Bobby says, don't make Jill hangry. John Beckham. Yep, Saudi Arabia, 03 to 06. They're 03 to 06 UT, so from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. And with this really good propagation lately, they've been coming in quite well, for sure. Matt, if Jill gets hungry, we'll just advise to get another drink. That way I'll be on for 4 hours more. Oh, God. Sir Maximus Hardwood, 15730, radio event in French until the top of the hour. Radio Gaga Lolo. Zen Faros, 5930, Radio Algérienne from France, barely audible but visible carrier. Yep. Reverend Scott, yep. That's been that guy that's been dead for a long time. Okay, so you're giving me that money you didn't spend on that radio, Frank. Oh, man. The Radio R108, mine does get off easily. If that's what you're talking about, it's something I wanted to make a video about. The battery compartment is loose. So what I do is, if I don't use it on the stand, I'll close the stand to hold the radio at an angle. So the closing the stand holds the battery cover. But if I got to use it with the stand, often what I'll do, I'll just put the battery cover on the table and put it back after when I'm finished. But mine definitely has a very loose battery cover. Definitely the R108. What else do we have? The Jim's radio check. Exactly the problem we got. Yeah, that cover was not well designed. It's loose, so it falls off all the time. So it's either that or you put a little something. What I did once when I was using it a lot, I just put some Scotch tape over it in the back so that it stays there. I mean, the battery stays in. It's not, the battery doesn't fall out or anything. It's really just a cover. It doesn't clip well. It seems to be just a bit too small for the space. RGA Dakota, attractive radio, but I was expecting it to be just like you said. Arongda isn't the right choice. And it's that out here close. It's that very tiny display. I mean, it is nice. People telling me, "Oh, that display is beautiful with all this stuff in it." It is. It's not that it's not. Definitely, it is. But the problem is, there's so much information you could put on a tiny display. If you put too much, you have to make it small. And if you make it small, well, you got to read it. And that's where there's a problem. If you've got good eyesight, you read that thing. Yes, absolutely. Anybody with good eyesight will read the display. Fine. I got glasses and I have a hard time with the small little things. It's like looking at lower, is it in lower or upper sideband? I'm not sure, you know? So there's a lot of info on that display, but it is a beautiful display. If it would be bigger on a bigger radio, so that everything is a little more spread out and a little bigger, it actually would be a very beautiful display. Where it actually is decent, and the only thing decent it does, yeah, listening to some international broadcasts. But even that, I got to be careful because I got to position the radio where there's not too much FM breakthrough in it. So, but for the rest, man, come on. I actually have found how to tune a single sideband signal so it sounds natural. I finally found a way to do it. So now I know that if a station is on, say, let's use the Gander station in Newfoundland for the weather, 10051. If I put 10051 in the Hangrongda, it is listenable, but it's very high pitched voice. Now, don't try to go up and down with the fine tuning. You won't be able to tune it correctly. What you do is you go 1 kilohertz higher. So you go to 10052 and start tuning downwards. Then you'll get a natural voice out of it. And you'll be able to listen to it with a very natural voice. But you are tuning, according to the display at that time, 10051.8. So it's like so crazy stupid the way it is. I can tell you that. But it is an attractive little radio. I think they just wanted to put too much out of it. If you've seen the VHF video I posted yesterday, I'm listening to a 2-meter ham repeater on the CC Radio 2E, which isn't very good on 2 meters. I'll have to say it. The CC Radio 2E 2-meter is okay, not the best sensitivity I've seen in a radio. Yet, it got the repeater. Now, the Hangrongda, when I put it on 146700 on VHF, it doesn't even receive it. I mean, that thing isn't good. It's deaf. What else do we have? What else do we have? Zenferos, Source 945, Radio Romania, not so good either at the moment. Radio Mali, 5995 is better. Yeah, well, 5945 shouldn't be that strong, honestly, because it is still a low frequency for Europe at this time. So it's still a little early on that side. We're getting into summer, so we got to adapt our propagation and our listening of the stations, what we hear. And that frequency is meant for Western Europe. So it's not really technically meant for us here in North America. Oh, it's a great radio. The Radio RR108 is a great, great little radio. It's just the battery compartment falls off. Michael Andrew, Texan 380 in the house, 39.95. Man, strawberry is a good idea. I have a strawberry plant in the garden, which surprisingly survived the winter and was flowering already. Fresh strawberries. Oh, that's great. That's the best. They're so good. So good. ZFRX Nice 6070, WWCR 6115. As far as our Radio Romania 7310, good, but only in the lower sideband to avoid RTTY. Take care, Frank. It's always nice to have you on board. Take care, Alan, 73. So let me just check out something here. Any pirates popped up just out of curiosity? Oh, very quiet in the department of pirates. So that's here. That's pretty good. So Hey guys, it's pretty much reached 3 hours and a few minutes. We're gonna say goodbye for tonight. I'm gonna go cook some food. I'm making some curry chicken with cocoa milk, coconut milk. So I think that's gonna be pretty good. And gonna go and eat that and do some radio tonight. Probably do a little radio tonight. And checking our check the Facebook group for the things that I'll be listening to. I'll probably be posting. So I see all the panicked people saying no. Hope you enjoyed the show today, and it's always nice to be here and have a great time with you guys on shortwave and listening to shortwave and talking shortwave and radio in general. What's coming up in the next few days? I'll continue taking out radios from storage. So see those videos. A lot of radios still in storage. So there's going to be a lot of videos of these videos that are coming through each day this week when I take them out of storage, even the bad ones. And of course, I will try to get some time to continue on the shortwave past and present feature on the channel and talk about all of the different stations from the past or that are also still alive today using my QSL cards, audio clips, and just having fun. So take care, guys. Try also next week. There's some interesting weather, so not too hot. Try to do some walk in the park, the ATM scans, and bring radios along and show stuff. So hope that you enjoyed. Thanks for everybody that used the super chat for giving me a little tip today. It's really, really cool and helps, put a little money aside from new radios that might be popping up. And of course, helps out if you guys like me to talk about any specific model. Well, gives me a little something to go and buy them and talk about them and review them so that you guys don't buy the bad ones, only buy the good ones. So take care, everybody. Stay safe. Love you all. And hope to see you again next Wednesday at 0 hours UTC. That's Thursday, technically, for the rest of the world. Wednesday for North America. And, of course, next Saturday at 20 hours Universal Time. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Love you all. And take care, my friends.